you felt the happiest, you felt the most inspiration you had ever felt in your life. Getting up in the morning was exciting. You looked forward to you would get up early, as opposed to now, where you can't get out of bed and you're sleeping in and the covers are draped over you and you're in a world of panic and anxiety and hell. So of course you're gonna miss that. Of course you can't forget the love bombing. PsychopathEXposure. I'm your host, Kira. How are you guys doing today? So somebody asked me if I could make a video about how difficult it is to forget the love bombing. And sure, let's just jump right into that. Love bombing, when you're being love bombed by anybody, especially in this case, a narcissist. The love bombing is when someone, particularly narcissistic people, you start a relationship or you just start dating, you meet them, and you're constantly, you just bombarded with attention, with all sorts of attention that maybe you never got before, not at this level at least. You're getting phone calls all day long, you're getting good morning texts, you're getting good night texts, you're getting gifts, you are being treated to the nicest restaurants, you're complimented all the time, they pay attention to details, they point out those little nuances that maybe your ex didn't point out. Maybe you were dating somebody that was a little insecure and they were afraid to compliment you, and now you meet the total opposite and they're just bombarding you with compliments. They just make you feel special. They make you feel like you are the greatest human being to walk on the face of the planet. So naturally, especially if there's a strong romantic chemistry at the beginning, you know, couple all that attention, couple all the gifts, couple all the compliments, and add some really good intimacy there, some really good sex, right? And it's an elixir. It's an elixir for fast love. It feels like if you've been put under a spell, and I'm not talking about the dark spell that comes later on in an entanglement with a psychopath narcissist. I'm talking about just a love spell. Okay, when you're being love bombed, it's like you've drank a love spell and you're under that love spell. And you don't understand why you feel so excited to hear about this person more than anyone that you've ever dated before. And you quickly convince yourself, without much debate, that this is your soulmate, this is your twin flame, this is the person you were meant to meet all along. And you know what? The narcissist believes that too. I know we talk about how the love bombing stage, the idealization stage at the beginning with a narcissist relationship is fake, okay? And yeah, we can break that down. It's fake and it's not fake, okay? It's fake in the overall scheme of things, okay? Because if you understand narcissistic personality disorder, if you understand the depths of psychopathy and sociopathy, if you study the brain scans that are done on these individuals, it's different. And the research shows that they don't have the capability to experience love, to offer love, to feel empathy. It's not the same. It's a facade, it's an act. They emulate it to the best of their abilities, but it's not genuine, it's not sincere, and you can tell by their actions when they do things all of a sudden that hurt you, and they feel no remorse. Okay? But that's for another more in-depth video. To answer your question, why can't you forget the love bombing? Well, you have to factor in, where were you coming from before you met this narcissist, before you met this person that bombarded you with all this attention, with all this love, with all this outrageous attention that you never got before. You know, for some of us, we were in a dark place before meeting the narcissist. Like, you can read the YouTube comments. I've worked with a lot of clients on my coaching program to tell me, look, Kira, to be honest with you, I was coming off of a divorce. It was really bad time for me in my life. You know, my wife or my husband, they really weren't bad people, but you know, the kids and we had to separate. We grew apart. There was a lot of arguments over they used to travel a lot, whatever. Like, not everybody that gets a divorce is because they were dating some crazy person. Okay, sometimes things just don't work out. You know, sometimes you grow apart in a positive way. Sometimes, you know, one person in the relationship just is more ambitious and they're focusing more on their work. With the good intentions of providing, and maybe the other person, they just want someone that they can cuddle with and watch Netflix and be heard and be listened to, and the other person's just too busy, you know, things like that. It doesn't always have to be a crazy person, but it seems that when you're coming off of a really bad time in your life, when you're going through some really deep emotional struggles, you tend to meet these entities of evil that just know exactly what to say. They know exactly how to manipulate the situation to make you feel like they're your saviors. You met them at the right time. You needed to be going through this so that you could meet them, and they were put on this earth to help you. They were put on this earth to take away. Did I just say earth? Earth. They were put on this planet to make all your problems go away, and they're gonna take away all your pain, like Isadora did when she was taking, you know, the pain. You know, she had one of these. See, you need to get one of these so you can remove the pain, right, that you're feeling. But that's for another video and another lesson in another channel. Anyway, it's outrageous, the stories that these sick individuals will tell you at the beginning of the entanglement, when you first meet them, when you're being love bombed. The delusion is outrageous, and you see it even more at the tail end of that relationship. You see it at the end, you're like, wow, I can't believe I fell for that. But the reason you fell for it, not only was the narcissist very convincing, but you as the victim, at that time, were very vulnerable. You needed, it's not that you needed, but you probably felt like you lacked love and understanding. You were starving for affection. And this narcissist just showed up and gave you everything you ever wanted and more in a matter of 2 or 3 months. Right? That's a lot to take. It's overwhelming. But you're only human, and you have a brain, and there are chemicals, you know, in that brain that are sending chemicals all through your body that are creating all sorts of feelings and emotions. And it's creating habits. It's creating, you're being conditioned to certain things. It's creating triggers. Right? Neurotransmitters are firing together, right? And before you know it, your brain is dependent on these feel-good emotions that only the narcissist can offer you. So when you become conditioned to receiving that morning text, when you become conditioned to receiving that phone call during lunch, when you become conditioned to receiving that 3 o'clock coffee text, when you become conditioned to the emojis, when you become conditioned to the I love yous, right? And that good night, sweet dreams text, and you become conditioned to a routine that makes you feel good, it's kind of like a drug. You're dependent on that drug. Now the narcissist will take that away. The moment the narcissist realizes that you're not perfect, the moment the narcissist realizes that, I'm bored, 3 months have passed by, and it's the same old stuff, like this, it's not exciting anymore. I already secured what I needed from, from their target. They already secured that, right? They locked you down, you're in love with them. Anything they say you do, they can get it whenever they want. They grow bored because it's part of the disorder. It's part of the disorder. So they grow bored. That's it. The chase is over. They don't have to chase you anymore. They got you. So it's like when Joker would say, that he was like a dog chasing cars. He just does it. He doesn't know why he's doing it. He just wants to chase the car, but once he gets it, he has no idea what he's going to do with it. It's like, now what? So some of these toxic people, they love the thrill of the chase. They love the thrill of chasing that unattainable object of their desire. They could be in a relationship right now in the challenge of chasing a new shiny object and taking the risk that they're stepping out on their relationship, the risk of not being caught, that thrill is narcissistic supply to them. It gives them a rush, right? And just getting you, and the idea of having you, the idea of having you, the idea of having you too, besides the one they already have. That is what keeps them going. That's what keeps them going. And once they get you, it's like, okay, now I got you. Now what? I need something else. I need something else. I need somebody else. And of course, this comes with a trail of disaster because now their old relationship has expired. There's problems, there's fights. They don't want to deal with that because that's not fun. Now they want to focus on you. So you're the love of their life. You're the one they're fighting for. Meanwhile, they set their past relationship ablaze. They set it on fire. It's destroyed. And they don't want to deal with it. But they kind of have to, especially when there's kids involved. But they just want you. But once they have you, then it's like, they need more drama. So they repeat the process. They grow bored of you. They start devaluing you. They move towards some new thing. And now they set you on fire. And you're left there. You're left there in that turmoil, missing the person who they once were. And you can't forget the love bombing. You can't forget how good it made you feel. It's like a drug. You just don't forget how good it used to feel when you would get so high and it was amazing. And now you don't have it anymore. And now you can't reach those levels of high anymore. So your brain is starved of all this attention all over again. Your brain is starved for the affection, for the love that the narcissist was giving you. And even though at the time, maybe for the narcissist, it was as real as it gets, for them, for someone with that disorder, that's as real as it gets. But it's a game. For you, it was real at another level. For you, it was like, this is forever. This is meant to be. This is the love of my life that I've been seeking for. And this is going to be forever. And sure, things change after the honeymoon stage, but when you're in love, you're in love. And you make time for each other, and you plan more romantic dates, and you grow, and you experience life together. You do life together. But to the narcissist, it was a 3-month thing. And notice how the majority of people entangled with narcissists is usually around 3 months of an explosive honeymoon love bombing phase, where you're being the narcissist is just idealizing you to unreal levels that you unfortunately cannot live up to because it's unrealistic. The expectations the narcissist has for you are unrealistic. You or anybody will not be able to meet them, and that's why it never works out for them. Once they have, what they wanted, what they tried to log down, it's not good enough. See? So you're stuck remembering, missing, longing for it because it was so convincing. It was so convincing, and it stimulated so many areas of your body and your mind and your soul. How can anybody forget that? It was an amazing experience. But you have to, if you want to heal from the narcissist abuse, you have to take that as just a life experience. You experienced 3 months or however long it was of intense love bombing. You felt amazing. You felt the most attractive. You felt the most confident. You felt the happiest. You felt the most inspiration you had ever felt in your life. Getting up in the morning was exciting. You looked forward to you would get up early, as opposed to now where you can't get out of bed and you're sleeping in and the covers are draped over you and you're in a world of panic and anxiety and hell. So of course you're going to miss that. Of course you can't forget the love bombing. I still remember all the times that I've been love bombed, if I even want to give it that title, because I think everything at the beginning is always exciting. And then eventually things just become normal. Everything at the beginning just has a special layer of novelty. Okay, like you move to a new home and suddenly it's like all of your problems just went away because the brain is experiencing something new. It doesn't have the baggage and the old memories attached to it. That's why I always recommend victims and survivors of narcissistic abuse that they have to travel, they can move if you can, right? Go out, experience different things, brand new things, so you can start rewiring the brain cells, the neurotransmitters, the chemistry and the makeup of your brain, right? So you can have a new experience and not have all that baggage, and hopefully that baggage just dissolves because you're pumping your brain with new information, with new data that's not attached to the old baggage and to the old trauma. That it's like, you know, that stuff just starts getting pushed away. But you know, regardless, after a while, that also becomes the norm. It's just like your finances. You know, you go from making $30,000 a year to $100,000, right? And it's like, oh, wow, quality of your life just changes, you know, and it's great. But then eventually, it's like, okay, this is the norm because now you have a bigger house. Now you're going out to eat more. You're buying bigger and better things, and it's like, okay, now I gotta strive to make sure I can keep that sustainable. But you know, when you reach 1 million, it changes your mindset too. In the same way though. But now you're making $1 million a year. When you make your first $1 million, it's like, wow, I never thought this could be possible. And then it's like, okay, yeah, well, I gotta make 2 now. Because 1 is just, yeah, it's cool, but now I gotta make more. Because that becomes the norm. And I was reading, I don't know if you guys follow basketball, but Damian Lillard, when he left Portland, got a contract with the Milwaukee Bucks, and he's getting paid an outrageous amount of money. And he's just talking about how lonely he is. He just, goes to practice or the games, just comes home, just watches movies. He's just bored as hell. It's just, there's nothing to do in that city. His family doesn't live, I don't think his family lives there yet. And he's talking about how lonely he is. And then someone in the comments is like, oh yeah, it must be nice to be getting paid $40,000 a night and go home to your $3 million mansion and your 5 Lamborghinis parked outside. Yeah, what a hard life. And I was laughing when I read that, but I also defended the situation because it's like, yeah, I get it. You can be a billionaire and not be happy. You can be a billionaire and not be happy, right? So it doesn't matter. You went through a life experience. You were love bombed. Your emotions were at an all-time high. You're not going to forget that as easy as you would like. But you're going to have to do your best to just put those memories in a box and say that was that experience and it was amazing, but you know what? After that, everything turned to shit. That was great, but the person that was providing those intense emotions was a scammer, a con artist, a manipulator, an abuser, a psychopath, a narcissistic piece of shit that tried to ruin my life. That's where your head needs to be. You can't allow yourself to go back to those memories of the love bombing stage and confuse them with now. That was then. That will never be again. That will never be again, because you're dealing with somebody that's incapable of replicating that ever again with you. They can do that with the new supply, but with you cannot happen because they are already bored of you. They do not see you as a shiny object they must obtain. They already had you and they discarded you. And if they come back as a Hoover, it's only because it's a challenge to them to see if somehow they can get you back despite or in spite of the damage and abuse that they did. But do not doubt that if they get you back, or if you take them back, they will dump your ass again and do the same thing all over again, and it's gonna hurt you 50 times more than it did the first time. Because it's like, oh man, I should have known better. I gave them a chance and they burned me again. Damn it. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. Mary Cruz, that question came from Mary Cruz. I appreciate it. Thanks for asking. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. If you have any more questions you would like for me to cover on the Psychopath Exposure Show, let me know in the comments below. And if you're also struggling with not being able to let go of the love bombing experience that you had, and you're still adamant and trying to somehow work things out with the narcissist again so that they can deliver those happy, intense emotions that they once gave you, and you continue being burned and you continue being let down, okay? Please share with us your story and your struggles in the comments below. I assure you there are hundreds of thousands and millions of survivors just like you that experience the same exact thing, only the names and faces had changed. Okay? And if you'd like to work with me directly, I do have a private coaching program where I can help you achieve exactly the mental clarity that you're looking for, because I know it gets confusing when you're dealing with a psychopath or a narcissist, and there's a lot of cognitive dissonance, and they prey on you. They prey on you when you're compromised like that. So click on the link below in the description. I have more information on my coaching program to see if we're a good fit. We can work together and put this nightmare behind us. Okay? Drop a like on the video as usual if you got some value out of this, and don't forget to subscribe if by any miracle this is the first time in the channel. Okay? I'll see you guys next time. My name is Kira, and this is Psychopath Exposure. Have a great, wonderful day. Talk to you guys soon. Peace out.